Turn it up. The Blueprint starts now.
Blu3Print Radio episode 4. Today we have an interesting guest here, as you can see to the right of me. We have Mr. John Allante McAuley. Bear with me, y'all.
No,
How you doing today?
You nailed it. First try.
Thank you.
So thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on here.
Got you. So he is he's many things. Jack of all trades, okay? He ran for
State committee.
Podcaster,
Yes.
Wellness advisor, I'll say,
I
coach.
guess so, yeah, right? Guess you could say that, well, gym influencer, I don't know, whatever you want to title it.
Got you. One thing that stood out for sure when I was told that I would be interviewing you was your sovereign thinking.
Okay.
Your ability to stand solid in your beliefs, not really picking a side or speaking politics per se, like I've heard it, but more so talking to the hearts of people. And, you know, God-fearing man, the hat may stray a lot of people away. And I can already imagine my family right now looking, holding their chest.
Like, no, she didn't.
What is she doing?
Right.
I'm not picking sides. You already know I'm a little crazy. You already know I don't really get into politics, picking sides. I'm all for growth, information, and expansion as a whole. And just to kick it off, I could say I come from a background where people naturally vote blue. This whole episode is not going to be about politics, by the way, but I come from a family where everybody votes blue because that is what they were told to do. That is what they've seen their family do. So it's just been years and years and years of doing the same thing without really doing their own research or thinking, what do I want for myself outside of that group thing? So, you know, we're going to navigate these waters.
Yeah. Let's do it.
See what type of gems you could give to the people and how they could be limiting themselves following things that were conditioned.
Yeah, I like that. Let's do that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your origins. Where do you come from?
I'm from Uptown. I'm from Mount Airy. I grew up there majority of my life. So I've been to other places in other states, but majority of my life I've been here. As far as like my background, like I started out, I was telling my guy over here, Benji, I was telling
Shout
him,
out to Benji Jones.
Yeah, shout him out. I was telling him, like I started out, I was a rapper. Like I started out doing music. I started out wanting to be an entertainer, and then as I started getting older, things that I was interested in started to change. So I started getting into growth. So I started getting into podcasting, and then slowly but surely I started getting into politics, and we can dive into like how I made those transitions. But yeah, Philadelphia, Uptown, all my life.
Love it. Okay, shout out to Uptown. So Pennsylvania all your life. Now, between the two transitions, going from being a musical artist, rapper, going from doing the podcasting into politics, the clear tie here is the voice. Being a communicator and using your voice to share your message. What type of music were you making, may I ask?
I was a street rapper. Like I was living a street life. Like I live a whole different life now, as you can tell. Like my life is very dramatic. So like I done lived a few different. I'm only 38, but I felt like I done so much. But
feel you.
Right. So like I got a similar story. I guess like what a lot of your guests will have up here. Like I'm a felon. I did 3.5 years in the state penitentiary. So I was making that type of music. I was living that type of life.
That's what you knew. That's what you were embodying. So that's how it came out. After going to prison, did you come out with a different mindset after sitting still for quite some time with yourself? Yeah,
like it's the seeds started getting planted when I was in there. Everybody always talks about the wins and the glamorous life and the, taking trips. You're going to strip clubs. You're going to Del Frisco's.
Yes.
You're doing all of these cool things and you're getting a woman that you always used to want to date. But then that also comes with jealousy. That comes with envy. That comes with a lot of street drama. People want to take your life. So when you're taking drugs, you're getting high, you're taking Xanax, you're doing pills, you're just living a very hedonistic life. And so when God finally decided to sit me down, not only am I detoxing, I'm reliving all of those traumas that I didn't have a time to sit there and finally feel it. Yeah. So God started working on me in there. I started working on my mind and my body. I just knew. And then, you will have some people that's actually happy to see you fall. So
every day. Yes, you will.
Yeah, right. So when you're in there and things are getting back to you, it just put a battery in my back because, like, I let myself down. I let my mother down. I knew I could be more than what I was being. And so when I came home, I made it a point to be everything that I thought I could be. And I got tired of being Mr. Potential. So a switch had flipped. And gradually over these past 6 years, I came home June 2nd of 2020. I've just been trying to be a different version of myself.
I love that. I love that. I love that you alchemized that whole situation and you didn't go in, picking up new trades, making new connections and trying to bring it out to the outside. You went in there and you actually did the work and sat in that isolation and looked at yourself and probably that terrible reflection because they don't really get mirrors up in there. I don't know if y'all know. You can't even really see yourself.
Right. That's gotta be true.
What are some things before we even move along?
Go ahead.
I've been incarcerated. When incarcerated, I was reading books.
Yeah.
Things like that. So what are some, how did you attain that knowledge? Was it a conversation you were having with peers? Was it certain religious groups? Was it books, authors?
So when you're in there, and so like I got a lot of friends that are Muslim. We in a heavy Muslim populated city. I am not Muslim. I am a Christian. Gotcha. But so like I will say that I have Muslim friends to this day.
Love that.
But so when I was in there, I was getting approached, do you want to learn the truth? And that's the thing they want to hit you with. And so like I had to stand on my principles. Yes, I've been a Christian all my life. I was baptized, but I wasn't living that type of life. Mm-hmm. So now I'm getting tested. And so it's like I had to stand on it. Do I just fall to pressure or do I want to learn something different or do I want to, so I had to crack open my Bible. So, I was able to learn things in there from my Muslim brothers, but I also stayed true to what, I was taught, grew up to believe. My mom got me baptized when I was young right after they got divorced. So it was that, and, reading the New Testament, getting in my Bible. Then when I finally knew I was going upstate, I started really working out, so I'm doing 6-7 miles in the yard every fucking morning. I'm on that grind and I'm becoming driven now. So I'm working on my mind and my body. And so I was reading a little bit up there, but once you get a routine, you know how much time you're doing, you know what you got to do to make your minimum. Mm-hmm. And now I'm seeing through time. I got a vision now. I know when I'm coming home. So it was really getting in my book, really working on my mind and body, restricting myself and coming home with a game plan.
I love that. So you weren't inside the cage being a victim of your circumstances. You was preparing and planning for what you were going to do. So you get out. Mm-hmm. What year is this?
2020, June 2nd of 2020. I came out at the height of COVID.
I was about to say, a lot of shit was going on. That was really when everybody had to sit still all together on a grand scale and really feel themselves and see how life is just one big cognitive dissonance situation.
Yeah.
So you come home 2020. What happens next? Are you still doing artistry? Are you still doing your artistry? That's what you get
a little bit. But I knew I always wanted to be a businessman. Gotcha. I just wanted to be successful in life. I was doing the wrong things before my incarceration, but I said, no matter what, I want to be. So I came home, I thought I was going to be a little Jeff Bezos. I had my LLC. I was doing deliveries. I had a transit van. So that was my first real business and it failed, but my overhead, it was a lot of things that happened, but I'm learning in real time, but I was proud of myself. I had my EIN number. I'm opening up business bank accounts. It was legit. So I was so proud of myself. And then what happened, you talk about between 2020 and 2022, podcasting became, I guess, the thing, especially because y'all was shut down. While y'all was shut down, I'm shut down inside, right? And so it was kind of like y'all was doing jail time a little bit when y'all was.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody had to sit down.
Y'all had to sit down. So podcasting became a thing. So I'm going through my phone. I'm still getting caught up within those first couple of years of what's been going on. I'm starting to see influencers as this big thing, and people are starting to go viral on my algorithm. So mind you, like I wasn't in the streets anymore, but I was still a dipshit. I was still smoking weed. I'm still wasting time. I'm not, I'm a businessman, but I'm still not being the best version of myself.
I got you, because there's levels.
Right, it's levels to it. So I had to come across, and mind you, my father and my mom got divorced when I was maybe 14 years old. So he gave me a lot of jewels when I was a young man. But going into that next phase as a grown man, I didn't have anybody. I only had my homies, and I'm 38. My homies was a little older than me, but they all in the streets. Gotcha. None of them talk about being husbands. None of them talking about a lot of them want to be businessmen, but a lot of them started out hustling to get to that.
So they had the wrong focus, the wrong industry,
the wrong foundation, I guess you want to say, to get to it. A lot of people have got successful off of that. But more times than not, you're going to fail because you're going to get caught up in the trap, right?
Right, because the foundation is not
pure. Because the foundation is not pure.
Yeah.
Right, it didn't come from God. So people started going viral, and this was like you talk about the gym. David Goggins, he was going viral. He was
David Goggins. Yes, I believe I've seen him on Impact Theory before.
Yeah, I'm a big David Goggins fan.
Is he a Marine?
He was a Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL.
He was a Ranger. Like he did a few different things or whatever.
Fire.
Right. Another guy, Andrew Tate. And so, like, I guess the gym bros, all of these like alpha males start going viral. So I'm listening to millionaires and billionaires telling me they are spending 18-hour days grinding. I go to my little 9 to 5, and I'm thinking I'm tired. I'm not doing enough.
We think we're tired, but people who are, and I love that you said, your first business failed, but you didn't stop. When we look at these millionaires, look at their blueprint, how many business they started, how many times they failed, how many times they did not stop. So, and they're not sitting around listening to, podcasts on gossip, celebrity culture, things like that. We're listening to podcasts where the millionaires are speaking and giving their gems. So that's something to be mindful of, what you're consuming, what you're giving your attention to. You're not going to grow if you listen to what everybody around, you're going to stay right where you at. So expose yourself to new information. Go ahead.
I think that's your algorithm, what you're saying is very important.
Yes.
I had to change my algorithm. The content that I was producing, so it inspired me to have a podcast of my own. You brought this up, What You Scared to Say podcast. That's
What You Scared to Say. Shout out to that.
Yeah,
on Apple, on Spotify, and on YouTube, you can find that.
Man.
Yeah.
You can find it everywhere. So at first, I was making that content that I eventually got away from, like, because relationships was like the big thing at the time.
That's where I started, child.
Right. Everybody was talking about why relationships work or don't work. And I was going,
nobody know nothing.
And nobody know because nobody's married and nobody got to the finish line, but everybody had an expert opinion on it. It got redundant after a while, and I got tired of talking about it. But once again, I'm working on myself in real time. So I said, I don't have time to be sitting here rolling blunts. No disrespecting nobody who does.
Right, because I still roll blunts. I can be accountable. I still do.
I'm a little extreme no matter what I'm doing.
It's so good. It's accepted here.
I took it to the 100th power, to the 100th level. So one day I called some girl up I knew. I dropped my whole stash off. She said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing wrong. I just don't want to smoke no more." Went cold turkey.
Wow.
I started getting into the gym. I started dressing better. I became extremely driven. I knew I was going to have to pretty much go insane about the life that I wanted to live, to get to where I want to go. And that's how that started.
Basically, you saw who you wanted to be and sacrificed and cut off everything that was in the way of that reflection in the mirror. It was like, if it's in the way, it gotta go. If it's in the way, and you did that cold turkey, which is so hard to do.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of discipline. And shout out to whoever that is, Baller Mode Carmen, say my government. Hey, Carma.Ye these days, baby. But shout out to you. But yeah, that caught me off guard.
Right.
Yo, Allante. Yo, what's good? This is Zay Scottii.
Oh, Zay Scottii. Shout out to Zay.
Yo, I just wanted to chime and ask you a question, man. So, like you said, you like to go like full force, like 100% into things. Is that where you kind of does that translate into like your political beliefs as well?
Oh, for sure. Because like you said, we grow up in a blue city, a Democrat city. It's taught we identify because I'm black. I automatically have to vote this way. We automatic. So they're not about to just let another political party or somebody. They're not about to just open up the door for you. It's a battlefield. Like everything that you're doing, you want to be the best DJ in the world. The top DJ. I don't care. Nobody wants to see you doing better than them. They're not going to just let you. You might get a oop from somebody. Somebody might shout you out, but the odds is not that high. If you want to be the best host, whatever you're trying to be, the best producer, you're going to have to take it. So my mind frame is I'm not waiting for somebody to hand me something. I'm coming here to take it. You know what I mean? So, yes, it is extreme. So when I'm going to city council meetings, I'm in my battlefield. It's a gladiator arena to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not coming in there looking for friends. I'm coming in here trying to be the best person in this room. When I walk in this room, you're going to feel my presence when I walk in that room. And I think no matter what lane you in, you should have that mindset, whether you're a man or a woman, no matter what field you're in, you coming in here and you're taking it.
My next question is, thank you, Zay. My next question is, so when you got into podcasting, the relationship stuff like that, what put that in you to want to reach people? Because you could have took all the wisdom that you had, you could have applied it to yourself and been up out of here, but what keeps you connected to the people?
Yeah. I felt like I always had a message, or like I always wanted to showcase my talent. But I'm realizing, I'm in my 30s now. I'm not running the streets anymore. Like when you're doing music, you're really talking to a younger crowd. My demographic, they going to work every day. If you got to that point, and so like it just wasn't in me for it to be authentic, and so the platform had changed a little bit. But because God was really working on me in real time, like I'm really like I was in my gym 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm talking about I'm in there having real grown man conversations with the Lord about where I want to be in life. And I could sit here and tell you as a grown man, like I'm sitting here shedding tears to him. Like I want to be somebody in life. I want my last name to mean something. When I die, I don't want to be put up on a mural or a wall just because I got shot and I died. Like I want my name to transcend through history. So in order to do that, I got to have a message. I got to be talking about something. And then, I had my first political interview. Like I was getting away from relationships. I interviewed, everybody knows who Sister Talia is. Shout out Sister Talia.
Shout out to Sister
She's
Talia.
she's a Democrat activist in the city of Philly, but she came on my podcast. I interviewed her and I said, how can I get involved? I want to do more. So she invites me down to City Hall. I think this is right after Ramadan or something. It was a shooting. Like right after some type of this is in 2024. So
got you. Okay.
Right.
Not too long ago.
Right, not too long ago. So I came up there off the cuff, gave like a maybe close to 2-minute speech. Everybody loved it. And then the wheels took off from there. She invites me to this bipartisan event. There was one other Republican there, and he was a part of somebody's campaign team. This is the summer of 2024. And they found out that I do podcasting. I do content creation. They brought me on the team. It's like, oh my gosh, I found out how, because there's no sign here that said this is where the Republicans are at in Philly. All you see is Democrat everything.
Yes, and because it is.
Right. You never heard another message or another alternative why they think the way they think. And I start realizing that to make this make sense, why relationships work or don't work, why the things that you obtain in life, everything is political. You might not, people say I'm not political, I don't do politics. Every decision you make is politics. The things that you go across to the deli, to the poppy store, the reason why the prices might be a certain way, the reason why they might be taxing you on when you hit tech, why they got to put an extra fee on that machine or whatever. Everything is all politics. So I started realizing the decisions that I'm making, while I got to us, I'm like, okay, I started thinking different and I started deep diving.
And you wanted to get into the fight.
Yeah. To
be a part of the awakening of other people and letting them know that they can think differently.
Oh, for sure.
Now, for people who are watching this, who may assume at first sight, when we hear the statement, make America great again, that was very offensive to people in the beginning, because it's like, when was America ever great if this country was founded on this, blah, blah, But where we are now in 2026, as a Black man, what does that statement mean to you, make America great again?
When people say, when was America great? America is great right now.
Okay. I can agree.
In other countries, you could sit up here and say, well, here in America, you could say F Donald Trump.
You
could say F Kamala Harris.
We're not going to die.
You're not going to die. And over there in Western Europe and parts of, and I go to Iran, go say F their government over there and see what happens to you. You're going to get hung. You're going to get put in some type of work camp. You're going to prison.
Very real.
So you have the freedom of religion here. In other places, they're killing, if you're in the wrong place, if you're a Muslim, they're going to kill you. If you're in the wrong place and you're a Christian, they're going to kill you. Here, you can be whatever you want to be, Buddhist, Jewish, Christian. It's great right now. They talk about, how can this be blah, blah, blah on stolen land. This land was either conquered or it was purchased. Just like any other land in the history of time. So I'm grateful, there is no community, there is no culture that has not faced genocide, slavery, or some type of oppression in one form or another. Whether you're white, whether you're Chinese, if you do it's all. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying we're just not. We have this mindset in our community like we're the only ones that's been through something.
Right.
That's a fallacy. That's false.
I do want to say to that, because I feel as though that is why people are clinging to a specific party, because they have this mindset of feeling owed because of real tragedies that have happened. And I'm not definitely taken away from the history or the experience or the trauma that has come from things that took place just a few centuries ago, not even that long ago. However, if we keep holding on to that, when we look at that Democratic Party and we look at everything that's happening, I'm a single mother of 2.
Yeah.
On one of your podcasts, you were talking about, you know, we're calling to get assistance. We're calling to get benefits or resources, but everything is exhausted because of 21 million illegal immigrants. And I have nothing against immigrants either but there is a legal process to go through.
Correct.
And it seems as though we are prioritizing people who are not respecting our rules. You got to respect the rules of a house. Maybe our house is a little confused and we got a lot going on and it's a lot of little side fights going on. But I can fuck with, and I'm going to say like that, I could fuck with the core of what you are speaking. It doesn't seem like you're picking a color because of race or because of Donald Trump. It could have been another Republican.
Right.
It could have been somebody else. And whoever comes next, I hope that because Donald Trump is the president now, you don't open up your mind and do your own research to see how can this party benefit me? How can I think outside the box? Maybe there's something here that can help me change my life if I vote for these rights.
Right.
You know, so don't be so closed-minded. How can...
I want to add to that. You said a lot of great stuff right there.
Thank you.
And that right there, you said a lot of great stuff. My mind frame is this. I'm not dismissive of the tragedies of our ancestors. You know, rest in peace to the ancestors. But I can't control what happened 400 years ago, and I'm not staying there. You need to know your history so you don't repeat it. I acknowledge that. But our problem with our men today is nothing is holding you back. I always give this message on no matter what platform that I'm on. I can't relate to this stuff. Like I'm 38 years old. I've never been a slave. I've never been whipped. I've never been through Jim Crow. I've never been through segregation. I've never been denied eating in a restaurant. Never had a bankload denied to me. I've never been hosed. I've never been through. I can go into any school. I can apply to any bank. I can go get a house. I can go get a mortgage. There's nothing stopping me from being the best version of myself. As a man, I'm taught to take accountability 100% of the time. So if I'm picking up, I used to live, you know, a liberal lifestyle. Like that's how I ended up in prison. I started adopting a conservative ideology because I wanted to be a husband one day. You know, I have a child. She's 17. I'm not with the mother. I created a broken home, right? So I said, if I don't want to repeat these cycles, what's going to give me the best chance at obtaining these goals? A conservative mindset and a conservative lifestyle. When I look at women, right, like you're a single mother, I don't want that for women. So when I bring up these stats, you know, that, you know, especially if we're talking about black and brown women, you know, we lead in all the worst statistical categories. I don't want that for our women. I don't say that to be ignorant or mean. I'm saying that it's a way that men think that why we end up where we end up. I want her to feel provided and protected for. I want her to, you know, to have the option. The option is the key word to turn her brain off if she chooses to turn her brain off that day. You get what I'm saying? I want her to, because you get the best version of women when you create that atmosphere for them, you know? And so if I'm a dude and I'm living a hedonistic lifestyle, I'm living a liberal lifestyle, I'm not being disciplined, I'm not being structured. If I got time to hang with the bros, if I got time to sit there and play 2K and roll the blunts all day and do all of these things, I'm not knocking men to do that. What I'm saying is if you want a particular lifestyle, it's a particular lifestyle that's going to give you a best chance at doing that.
Follow a certain formula.
It's a certain formula. When you look at demographics and the voting demographics to show you, if you look at the Republicans, the big bag evil empire, if you look at the voter turnout, the people that are married the most vote for that party. The single mothers vote for the Democrats. Why is that?
Because they're promised all sort of resources and benefits and government assistance.
Well, you don't need men. So you look at who implemented these policies, right? So I start talking. I told you everything connects. You know, when did this happen? When were black people getting married? They were getting married before the Civil Rights Act era happened. So when 1965 come, and you got a racist Democrat president by the name of LBJ. I've said this at City Council
before. Do y'all research, people. Make sure that y'all fact-checking and doing all that.
Fact-check me in real time if this is true. Google, Grok, and ChatGPT is right there. There's no excuse. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Great Society Act in 1965. This was supposed to be the war on welfare, the war on poverty, I should say. So he made it more accessible for our community, especially to get cash assistance, food stamps, housing, things of this nature. In order to get these things, a man cannot be in the house. This is not conservative ideology. This is not conservative apology. This is ideology from the left. This is what broke up the nuclear family. What's the nuclear family? God, whatever your God is, husband, wife, children, all in one home. If you see these children, teen takeovers. They're running around in the city. They're doing all of these crimes, carjacking. You see all of the drill music, all of these things. It comes from broken homes. Because a man, you might have a man, but he's not.
It does come from, that is a part of it, but it does come from a lot of things.
Yeah,
and before we go too far down, there was something that you said prior to, before us getting into the households and everything. Accountability, being accountable for your life and understanding that nobody is stopping you.
Yeah.
Now, with our sovereignty and our free will that we get from God, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is stopping us. We could wake up and choose to do what we want to do with our time, with our day. But how do we explain, or how do we speak to the systematic things that are very real? Like, we could go to the bank and apply, but what if that bank is in a certain neighborhood and they do have things like the redlining or things like that? How do we explain those type of things?
Is it actively going on in this generation? No. I mean, just go to another bank. You're going to have, we're just as prejudiced and just as racist as other communities.
I have seen that, and being biracial, this is something that I struggle with daily, you know, because I do hear my peers, I'm like, you sound just as hateful as
What's the difference?
You know, so I can feel that, but I also cannot deny I do experience, you know, going into places, and because of certain things, it is in my way and it does block me.
Okay.
You know, so I think the takeaway is, because I love what you said. I love what you said, that, you know, the billionaire's this, so the billionaire's this. I can't do this today because Trump did this.
Yeah.
It's not an immediate threat.
Yeah.
When you wake up, you are the controller of your energy, what your intentions are, what you focus on.
Yeah.
So I think that is the key takeaway for me.
For sure.
But I don't want to minimize other people's experience.
Right.
Or make them feel less than. And I know it's a lot of feelings going on in today's world, but feelings do matter, because that is what influences people to go out and do certain behaviors.
No, that's facts.
Well, let me.
You know,
go ahead. I want you to say what you're about to say. Go ahead.
I wanted to. I love what you said, and I wanted to ask you, based on what you said, like, how do you feel about the agenda of, like, the kind of the system trying to divide us from everything we do, from dividing the mothers and fathers to dividing parties to dividing just people in general? Like, do you think that's like a root of why people can't get past certain oppressions?
Well, of course. I mean, I guess they're always trying to divide us. I'm gonna start with what she said, and I'm gonna segue to you. So she mentioned a key word that was important for me just now, and it's feelings. Right. So, because you said it was important. To
a degree, because it does influence us to act out in certain ways.
And that's a problem.
It is.
Right.
If it's not managed.
Right. If it's not managed. Mm-hmm. So, like, you said something that's important, but I will speak from a man's perspective.
Okay.
For men, I don't think it's important that we do things off of our feelings. Okay. When you get men that act off of our feelings, you get destructive men. You get men that abuse women. You get men that because they're upset that they create a broken home. Hold up. You get men that want to commit school shootings. You get men to want to do robberies. You get men that want to act out of emotions. I no matter what you did today, you knew you had to do a podcast interview today. You could have woke up, I don't feel good. Oh, like, you know, my boyfriend or my girlfriend just got on my nerves. You had to produce. You had to show up. You had to put your face on. You had to put your clothes on.
Exactly. Very
right. You said, I have to perform no matter what. I don't care about my feelings. If I got something scheduled that day, I am going to get it done. You know, I'm moving heaven and earth. Now, you talk about, is the plan, like, how do you get by them trying to divide us? When you look at the media every day, it's things that is trying to divide us. And I'm living proof in real time. I'm debunking everything that the media say. Oh, they're racist. They don't like that next. Right. They don't like black people. When you look at my content, when you look online, I'm around white people. I'm around these white conservatives all day. I've been employed by white conservatives. I've gotten connections from a lot of these white people. I've been in their house. I've been in their churches. I met their children. I've been on the radio shows. They didn't have to do anything for me, not because of policy like DEI, but because I earned it. Because I learned the issues and I was competent, I was well spoken, I was sharp. I came in there, I commanded the room. And that's how we unify. It's not our one unity is that we are all American. If you're legit American, you know what I'm saying? We're all American. So yes, you might be Haitian, you might be Puerto Rican, you might be Colombian, But if you're an American, that flag is what unites us. You get what I'm saying?
A sense of pride.
A sense of pride. A sense of pride for your country.
I just feel like a lot of people right now don't feel like they like America is a place to be proud of. And with all of that, all the crazy things going on, all the unjust things going on, at the end of the day, we still are really a free country. And
for sure.
I feel as though other countries look in at us and be like, what is wrong with them? They live in a fishbowl because life is really real.
It's wrong.
A lot of other countries might see us as like a provoking country. Like we provoke each other, we
that part
hate each other,
and
we hate.
Terrible.
We do a lot of kind of cruel things to other countries, which makes them hate us in return.
And then when we look beyond the politics and we just look at the, everything, whether it's a party or not. On your podcast, y'all were talking about that the red and the blue. After they leave the Congress room and they do all of this stuff,
they hanging out.
They in each other's living rooms having cocktails and kids playing with each other.
While we're fighting over here.
We take it so deep.
Exactly.
That's why it's so important for us to educate ourselves and understand. We go where the purity is. We go where the integrity is.
Where the common sense is at. If somebody starts talking foolish and he's wearing his hat, I'm going to say he's an idiot.
Right.
I don't care because
no discrimination.
I don't care because he's wearing his hat or he on this side. I'm going to say he a dipshit. Get him out of here. I'm going with a common sense. If you're telling me something that's off the wall, I don't align with that. I don't align
proper
with
representation.
Exactly.
The media definitely does not do a good job at painting a true picture of what's going on. At the end of the day, it really is, as you were bringing up, everything is tax. Everything is tax. Everything is tax. Everything is about the dollar and is going to these bigger corporations that run everything, that run the media, that run everything, the jails, the schools, everything. I was getting so much information from your podcast.
Thank you.
Can we drop the name again?
What you scared to say the podcast? Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes, y'all. 3 minutes, really. They're giving us grace. You were talking about a lot of things.
Okay.
First of all, you had 3 different guests. Episode 32 is the one that I'm going to invite my viewers to go check out.
Thank you.
I don't want to spend too much time talking about me because you only have so much time left. But watch episode 32. Episode 32, he breaks down. I did not know that, the people that write our textbooks in the school are actually of Jewish descent.
Yeah.
He bought it. He bought the company.
Right.
Bought the company.
Everything I learned in high school.
Own the music industry, own the prison system.
Yeah.
So while we're out here parading and making these songs about baddies and scammers and this and that and shoot them up and fuck this bitch or whatever they talking about, they're literally walking, holding your hand like, hey, you fuck with this song, well, let's go into your jail cell.
It's
programming.
Programming through what we say.